What's happening? What's happening?
Yo, yo,
We are back.
yo.
We are back in the building. Feels good to be back, man.
Hey, listen. I just want to give a big, huge shout out to Mr. Daily Insight. He done added some minutes to the Wi-Fi
Yeah, man.
plan. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Mr. 18 million job man. Back in
Yes.
the building, man.
Yes. Good to
And
have you back,
the
man.
also
Good to be back.
missed sound
Good to be
effects.
back.
Bro. The also missed sound effects are back in the building.
Yeah. Time for the sound effects in the building. You
Hey,
know
man,
what I
we
mean?
missed the sound effects last week. I tell you that right
Hey,
now.
I swear going there. I swear I was in the background pumping and moving, shaking and pumping, but I guess it wasn't working. So we back in
man.
effect. So
Yeah, man.
Listen.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
So listen, man. As you know, you already know it is what it is. This is the I Stand on That podcast, episode 94. We finna talk about some shit today. You know what I mean? Is he a bad boy or is he finna get loose? Take that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, listen, we got a relationship topic I think is going to be very intriguing, very interesting.
Yes.
Much debated. And then listen, and then on top of that, we got one more. We know all of the youth out there. Hopefully they are looking at some sort of higher education or something like that. So we're going to have a quick conversation about PWIs and HBCUs.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun today. What up, Ray? I see you. What's up, Nayeli? I see you.
We out here in these streets. Listen,
you
so
it is your boy. You go first?
It is your boy, Mr. GJH Writer's Cramp. Mr. I've written a book. I'm writing more. You know, Mr. I do something during the day so I can pay my bills. I'm back in the building. Glad to be here. Glasses on, glasses off. You know what I mean?
Put them back on, brother. Put them bitches back.
Well, it's your boy South Florida Sid. What's going on? We back again, episode 94. It's gonna be a great time. Anil, what's up, my brother? I see you. We'll have a great time today. We're gonna have some good topics, have some good fun. We're adding things to the show every time we look up. So we got some fun commercials for you. The top 10 is gonna be funny. And hey, I'm ready, man. Let's go. What you got, Daily Insight?
All right, listen, as y'all can see, Mr. Daily Insight in the building. I'm back. They call me Mr. Sound Effects King in the building. So if y'all wonder who we're doing the damn sound effects, it's your guy in the building. So I'm back. Thank you guys for having me back, and I'm proud to be back, man. So we can kind of get this three amigo thing going on. So G-Man, let the people know what we got going on.
All right, man. Listen.
Well, by the way, we got Paula Abdul today. You know, I know
this guy.
Gary, don't give me that look. Show respect to Paula Abdul. A lot of you kids don't know who this is. This is not the host. What was she a host of? America's Got Talent? Excuse me. Or whatever she was the host of. But she was a legend.
Something like that.
She was a legend back in the late, maybe early 90s. She was a legend in the early 90s. And she taught Janet Jackson how to dance.
The very early 90s.
Very early 90s. And she taught
for a very short period of time.
Yeah, she taught Janet Jackson how to dance, and she taught the Laker girls how to dance as well.
Debatable.
You know,
so the student became the teacher. The student became the teacher. Janet is definitely way better dancer than Paula, brother.
But go ahead, my bad. I want to jump in there.
Before we get started, guys, make sure y'all jump on, share this actual live. We on Facebook, we on YouTube. If y'all want to join us, I'm gonna put the link at the bottom here in the comments, and y'all can join. But make sure you have great internet service, because if you don't, guess what? If you got that startup, guess what? You're getting booted. But you gotta have Be Green, be in a nice, quiet place in order for y'all to join. If y'all want to basically put your 2 cents on this topic. All right, let's get the thing popping.
All right, so first topic, we're getting around that time where a lot of you kids, college students right now, are trying to make their college decision. We know we got some people I know probably in the room who are already in school, in college, and can give their take as well. And you don't know what to do, right? You have all these college choices, and there's always the big debate, right? PWI, which is a predominantly white institute, or HBCU, which is historically black college and university, right? What do I do? What do you do? What are the pros and cons, right? who's gonna, and at the end of the day, we just want to have that conversation around giving you some good game. I'm a Florida A&M grad. As you see my shirt right here, FAMU to the day I died. I know Gary went to an HBCU, shout out to Flomo, and I know that Mr. Daily Insight went to a PWI on a football scholarship. So we're gonna give you guys some good games, some pros and cons.
Southeast Missouri University, Southeast Missouri, shout out.
So we're gonna give you some game, and then have some fun today. So I'll start off, right? My experience with going to a HBCU, why did I go to a HBCU instead of a PWI? It wasn't just about the experience of wanting to be around. I share cultures with whatever. A lot of times it was just about, us needing to find ways to keep HBCUs up and alive and well. And by increasing enrollment, it helps, right? I have some stats here. We get the stats out real early. Stats are coming out real early.
Wait. Say that one more time. Say it again. What we got going on? Stats?
The stats are coming out real early today. Yes.
All right, there we go. Let's keep it pumping. Let's go.
Coming out early. Graduation rates. This is a very interesting stat here. Graduation rates for Black students who attended an HBCU is 32%. But for Blacks, brown. So they put Latin as well in this.
Put them together. Yeah.
Yes. So, but by going to a PWI, the graduation rate was 44%. So the graduation rate is actually higher for Black and brown students who go to PWIs as opposed to going to HBCU. So that's a little concerning. Stat number 2, Joe Biden and the Biden administration has given $2.7 billion in funds in 2023 alone. That's huge as well. So these HBCUs are getting money and they're getting funding, right, in order to be able to compete with PWIs. Now, here's another concerning stat. Average salary for a Black or brown person going back to Black or brown student graduating from a PWI is $62,000. Average salary for HBCU, $51,000. So unfortunately, when you graduate from a PWI, you're still making a little bit more money than you would when you graduate with an HBCU. And this is from a Georgetown law on that one. I think one thing I want to talk about is what's going on at Tennessee State, and then I'll let you guys jump in. If you don't know what's going on at Tennessee State University, Tennessee State is an HBCU that right now is going through a lot of turmoil because the state of Tennessee owes them $2 billion, right? The University of Tennessee, which is the PWI, who's known for the football program, basketball program, has gotten all the funding. They've gotten all the funding. They've had no issues with funding. Tennessee State, for the last some odd years, have been asking the state, where's our money? Where's our money? What's up, DJ? What's up, my brother? Thank you for joining. Where's my money? Where's my money, right? So the state of Tennessee just said, you know what? I'm tired of you guys asking us where your $2 billion is that we owe you. So we're going to fire all you. They fired the entire board of directors. So Tennessee State University right now has no board of directors. This has been a big thing. There have been protests. There have been boycotts, all kind of things, because them firing the board of directors just for asking for the $2 billion that they owe, right, is insane. But this is the kind of things that unfortunately happen at the HBCU. One thing I'll say about my experience at FAMU, I'll tell you a story. When I went to FAMU back in 2001, and shout out to all my family rattlers in there, all the alums. RJ, what's up? K Small, what's up? Frost Farmer, what's up? Twan, what's up? OD, what's up, man? I remember we were there. I remember we would go to the cafeteria, man, and that food used to be good. It used to be like your grandma, your auntie, your great grandma would be back in the back.
Well, not to cut you off. What was on the menu? Give us. I'm about
to tell you what's on the menu right now.
Okay,
so
down that
line. They have cheese eggs, cheese grits, bacon, the sausage links, pancakes, homemade biscuits. Man, I used to get up at 5 a.m., right, to make sure I was in the caf for that breakfast. Dinner time, right? Smothered pork chops, smothered chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens. I mean, it was back there like your mama was back there. I'm serious. Now, right now. And God rest his soul to my brother Albert Gibbs. He went to UF and I went to visit him freshman year. Went to USF. Man, I got on campus and I saw that they had a Chick-fil-A on campus. I looked at him like, what's that doing here? And he looked at me like I was crazy. Like, yeah, we have Chick-fil-A, we have Qdobo, we have Moe's, we got McDonald's, all that stuff's on campus. And that's when I realized how far behind HBCUs were when it came to PWIs, when it came to resources, funding. Look, there's nothing wrong with your grandma, your auntie, your great aunt cooking in the back. But, however, they are so far, we're just maybe 2 or 3 decades behind these PWIs. In order to get these students to want to go there, we had to be able to compete. Go ahead.
I want to chime in. I'm a former graduate of Southeast Missouri State, a university in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, received the full ride as PWI. Now, here's one of the reasons, and you talk about the financial aspect of them being behind and don't have the funding. That is honestly one of the primary reasons why I chose an PWI. Now, did I have opportunities to go to the TSU, the Howards, the FAMU? Yes. Being a basic athlete, I did receive full scholarships to go to these historically black colleges. But what I said to myself, I knew I'm going to get kickback checks and everything like that to send back to moms to help out, pay some bills because she was a single mom of 3. So I said to myself, I had to make an executive decision. I said to myself, I'm going to choose this historically white college. So basically, I won't have to worry about money. Why? What is the fundamental foundation or breakdown when it comes to historically black colleges and historically white colleges? With the historically white colleges, there's almost never an issue with money, funding, anything at all. You were getting your refund check financially. There's never, ever, ever, ever an issue.
Drop a bomb on that.
You understand?
Drop some bombs on that. You got to drop bombs on that.
Hold on. That's it. It's never an issue. So therefore, I decided I'm going to go to this historically white college and not have to worry about funding. And guess what? All 5 years, I've never, ever had an issue with funding. And that was one of the reasons why I went, because I didn't want that issues. When it was time to get my check, guess what? Mom, you know, that check was coming on this certain amount of time. Guess what? I got my money. So that was one reason or one issue that I had with an historically black college. I knew the funding was going to be messed up and I was going to have issues.
So listen, I want to say, obviously, as both of you guys have already kind of talked about, right? There's pros and cons to both of them. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, listen, there's an environment, a culture, a community that exists at an HBCU that allows you to feel comfortable within your own skin at all times, right? There's value in that, right? So there's so much social value in going to an HBCU, right? And the funny thing is, you know, you and I both understand that the endowment funds are what they are because for some reason, as much as we love our communities and we love our schools, we ain't giving back like they give back, right? And so that you do have those, you have, you know, and listen, there's another thing. One thing that I will tell you is, I mean, I grew up in a mixture between obviously upstate New York, and then obviously then you had South Florida. So to me, one thing that I learned as I was kind of coming of age and coming through all of this stuff, man, is the limited perspectives that you get, right? So if you don't have exposure, sometimes going to an HBCU, right, can actually limit your exposure to different opinions and different viewpoints, right? Because you're gonna have a whole lot more people. You're gonna have a whole lot more people who are gonna be in a classroom in the PWI, right? You got international people. You got, you know, you're obviously gonna have, you know, people from local, people from all over in different states, different countries. I mean, you do get that at HBCUs. I mean, shout out to Florida Memorial. When I went to FloMo, and I went to Florida Memorial College. You know what I mean? Back in the day. But you know, when I was there, I mean, listen, people from the islands. I have a much better understanding of people and cultures that are in the Caribbean because of my time in South Florida, because of my time at an HBCU. Which I'm not sure if I get that, right? One thing that I learned when I was like when, you know, because I got my master's just like you from two different PWIs. One thing about being on those campuses, like even when you used to go to the University of Miami and you sitting on that campus, is it's almost like it almost feels divided.
Yes, agreed.
Right. Like one thing when you walk on an HBCU campus, man, you feel like you are in the middle of whatever, right? Like family. It's a
like
family
a fan reunion, basically. A fan reunion.
Right. But you go to like the University of Miami and you walking around on that campus, man, you know, you got your different student union groups, which almost creates a lot more division too. You know what I mean? On an HBCU, at an HBCU on campus, right? Most of the student groups are just like the division is like, you know, Black Greeks, whether I'm a Kappa or I'm an Alpha, not necessarily, you know, whether it's the Black student union. I mean, you still have those other groups that are probably like, you know, your Pacific.
Let me pose a question. Let me pose a question to you while you're on that. Let me ask you a question. So, because we have a lot of people probably listening who are like, how is this, you know, relevant to me? Well, most of the people in this chat, or most people who are joining live, you guys have kids. So I want to pose a question to you, both of you. Do you feel like if your child did not grow up around majority of white people, right, that it is a good idea to send them and drop them in the middle of a PWI, or opposite, if they didn't grow up around majority Latin or Black people, that's a good idea to drop them in the middle of a culture like that? You know, give me your thoughts on that.
That's a great question. And I was just about to, I was literally heading in that direction.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
So, no. I'm glad you did that. So here's the reality, right? My daughter went to a PWI, Valdosta State University, right? She went to a PWI. Shout out to Valdosta State. She's graduating on May 4th.
Shout out to J to J.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But my son went to an HBCU and he went to a PWI. He actually had a full ride to New Mexico. So he went to Eastern New Mexico and then he went to FAMU, right? And you know, there's so much, and I think the biggest thing that I was trying to harp in on is this. You do need to make sure that your child is going to get a social or cultural education just as much as anything else. If you believe that your child has Malcolm X in its DNA, right? If your baby is out there like listen, I'm Huey P. Newton out here, right? Then I get it, right? But then if they Huey P. Newton, they probably don't want to go to a PWI. So you really gotta allow your child on everything. I love it. I just genuinely believe let your child make the decision that's going to be best for them, because if you spend all that money to send them somewhere they don't want to be, they will not be successful. So that's first and foremost. Make sure wherever you send your child that it fits them and it matches, man.
Yeah, definitely. I also think, man, you know, college tours are huge, right? Going to these schools,
Absolutely,
walking around, being amongst the people, right? You know,
and there are so many, and I want to make sure people know that there are so many organizations out there that actually will help pay for your child to go on tour with them. You don't have to spend all of this money every single time doing it yourself. Right. If you don't know what you're doing, find a local organization. You can shout out to me if you're in Orlando, Miami area, whatever. You can reach out. I'm sure that we're all willing to communicate with you guys if you have not found those organizations. But please send your kids to these colleges in advance. Let them know what life is going to be like. But my bad. Go ahead, South.
No. Basically, what I was saying was, you know, these college tours are huge because you get an opportunity to actually be amongst the people and actually, you know, and basically say, look, I don't know. You know, shouts to, I know we got some FIU people in here. I know a lot of, you know, I know my nephew goes to UCF. I mean, he loves it. You know, he's Dominican. He loves it. He's, you know, fish, you know, and I don't know if he would have had the same experience or had the same joy and love if he had went to a FAMU. Right.
Well, listen, I wanted to ask you a question, right? I wanted to ask you a question, and I wanted to ask this question only because FIU, right? You mentioned FIU. Is FIU a mission school, right? And when I say mission school, I'm meaning HBCU type of energy, right? Meaning it's established for a mission. And here's why I asked the question. The same year that the Florida A&M University College of Law was reestablished in Orlando by the state of Florida, right? FIU had their law school established as well, right? And one of the initiatives was like the I think the generic brief thought or ideology was we're going to give the HBCU or black, constituents of Florida a law school that is designed to help support them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the FIU was supposed to be almost like a Latino, Latina, right, like a Hispanic law school, right, where it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually wanted to ask you because I wasn't sure.
Dude, that's about. I know we got some
government.
Yeah, well, we got some FIU people up in here. They can chime in the chat. But FIU, I want to say, I think it's like 95% Latin. I mean, I'll tell you a funny story.
Really?
So that would make sense if they're 95% Latin. That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was at a cigar bar and the waitress, we were talking about FIU, and the waitress is like, "Oh, you have, somebody who's thinking about going to FIU?" I was like, yeah, my stepdaughter goes to FIU. She loves it there. And she's like, "Oh, yeah." The waitress was white. She was from Boca Raton. She's like, "Yeah, I only lasted one semester there." I said, "Whoa, you didn't like it?" She's like, I knew it was she was trying to watch her words. I knew the culture shock would be a lot for me, but I wasn't really expecting that, right? And so she said, I transferred back to FAU after a semester, right? So I think we all know what we're getting at here. I was walking around campus and everybody there spoke Spanish and nobody really spoke English. It was a big culture shock for me. So yeah, man, FIU is.
I did not know that. I wouldn't have made it there. I'm sorry. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I really didn't. That was crazy.
And listen, I want to say clearly, right? Like if anybody out there has any knowledge of a specific state statute or something, or state anything that really actually allocates FIU as a mission school or something like that, please put that out there, because I actually was asking for that information, because like I said, I do believe that legislatively the law school was kind of given this mission to serve the Hispanic community. So, and not that it wouldn't serve anybody else, just like there are white students that attend FAMU and there are Hispanic students, right? It's not about that, but it is about just creating, I guess, a place that's comfortable and socially acceptable and culturally familiar. I don't know. Right?
Well, let me ask you this question.
Hold on, fellas. We look like we got Corinzo. I don't know who that is. But you have to show your face. Your internet looks very, very strong, but you have to show your face or to get on.
Of West Florida.
Yeah. So let me know when you type your screen, so you can come up. But go ahead.
But no, the question I wanted to pose is, because this is very important, right? Do you guys feel like employers, when they look at resumes, right? There used to be a stigma. If you saw a certain name, a certain school name on the resume, let me stay away from, But do you think that stigma still exists, where if an employer saw a FAMU, a Howard, a Morgan State, a FLOMO, but the employer saw UCF, UF, Florida State, that one resume gives more weight to the other? Because that's real talk,
I got to think. It depends on that individual, the employer. So let's just say the employer is a Gary Harrington, right? Mm-hmm. And he's a HBCU graduate, alum, all that kind of stuff. And he's a frat as well, which Mr. Gary is. So if you have a UCF and then a FAMU, I'm thinking, hypothetically, Mr. Gary may say, "Hey, listen, you know what? I'm gonna give both a good chance, but based on, maybe HBCU or not HBCU, I'm gonna get that nod." For me, I'll speak for me. I'll probably get that nod to someone that I know that's been in a frat, whatever the case may be, and come from a school that I'm familiar with. And I think that happens compared to, if you get a nod to someone else. If it's a Caucasian individual and they went to a school that they're familiar with and it's a Caucasian school, guess what? I think honestly you're gonna get that nod, and that's being honest. You know what I mean?
Listen, listen. There's no doubt, right? That instant rapport has an impact, right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt that instant rapport has an impact, but this is why, like, whenever I go through any sort of hiring process, I do it by committee. You know what I mean? So
we got Elder here on as well. So when
you here we go. US in the building.
US in the building. But when I do hire, I hire based on committees, right? So
Okay.
I want a diverse group of thought. What I'm not trying to do is kind of make that decision in a vacuum, because listen, as much as people love getting all the credit, right? You're gonna get all the blame too. And so what you need to do is make sure that you have diversity in thought, right? In what you're doing. Because the other thing is, you can get hung up on something like that. You might be like, you might overlook somebody's lack thereof, right? Because of that. Oh man, listen, but he was cool, man. I really enjoyed him. Listen, and here's what happens, right? Most athletes like to hire other athletes because they know what athletes have been through, right? They know what it takes to be a D1 athlete. So when you know what it takes to be a D1 athlete, you look for the D1 athletes because you know
those
they're
same attributes.
going to work, right? If you're an HBCU grad, you're going to be like, oh, at least I know that this is a similar line of thinking. So that because relationships matter when you're talking about work, right? You spend more time at work during the day than you do at home for most people.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna let Elder chime in real quick.
Yeah. Oh, God, Elder.
Oh, shout
take
out
that
to
UF
Elder.
hat. Take that UF. Oh, I thought that was a UF hat. I was about to say, take that UF hat off. Give us your thoughts.
Great topic.
Pastor Elder grew up. Hold on. Let me introduce you. Grew up in a predominantly Black neighborhood. Went to an all Black high school and decided to go to UF. That is 0.22356% Black. Now go ahead. I'm getting my. You gotta get my jokes
right.
off. Go
Jason,
ahead.
don't do that. Don't do that. I think the difference is, right, because Jason was in the same magnet program as me. So although the school was Black, our magnet program was very much not so. And if anyone knows the background of the magnet programs in Broward County, a lot of times the magnet programs were put in predominantly Black schools. And I think that was to balance out test scores and all of that. So middle school, I was in the magnet program. High school, I was in the magnet program. And for me, I didn't look at the school demographics. I thought about what my future was. So at the time, and still now, the University of Florida did have the best journalism program in the state. And so for me, it was just like, I'm going to go to UF for their college of journalism. And we came from a journalism area. And I do want to say, even though I am a proud Gator, I got a degree from University of Florida. I did go to Howard for my master's degree. So think about out of state, HBCU, and I was able to see the variances of both schools. And I must say that, UF, in terms of, I think before we talked about culture on campus, a little bit of segregation. I think you have to understand your child and know what their overall goal is. Because for me, I had a good experience. And mind you, I went to UF almost 20 years ago. So the UF I went to and where it is today and all the things that are coming out of it, it definitely wasn't my experience. So I can't speak to all the great stuff or crazy stuff that's happening in the state of Florida. But, it is what it is. But I do feel like it made me a little bit more conscious. I was able to be in certain spaces in the workplace and not feel like an outsider, not feel intimidated, being able to speak up for myself. Like I've challenged, people who at the VP level and know how to have really direct conversations with them based on some of the things that I experienced at the University of Florida. It wasn't negative, it wasn't positive, but it allowed me to feel confident and not feel like, ooh, they're coming for me. Because guess what? You might be coming for me, but I know how to direct you and have a conversation with you to where you're like, ooh, I need to step back and go to talk to HR because the way she wrote this letter, you know how they say the whole Karen theme? Like the Black version of Karen, like, I'm gonna send you this letter and it's gonna be outlined and you're gonna know, like, let me take a step back before I go back and respond to this person. So
and thank you for that, Elder, because that's honestly was my same experience. Being able to be in the room with these individuals and have those conversations and be comfortable was kind of my level of experience, what I felt and why I want to go to school, so I know how to conduct myself in these types of rooms. So, but thank you for that.
Yeah, good game.
You talked about employers. I do say when I went to the employer, at the end of the year when you're trying to get jobs at Howard, a lot of top employers, and as I spoke to my friends afterward, the downfall is, right? Like when employers go to HBCUs, they're looking for top HBCU talent. When they're going to the PWIs, unfortunately, people like me at a PWI, I'm getting looked over, right? Because they've already gone to like Howard, Morehouse, FAM, for their Black talent. So now I'm having to like compete against that top tier who look like me, but now I'm in a different setting at a PWI and they're trying to grab these kids. So how do I fare in this particular recruitment environment when they've already kind of maybe in some ways gotten their, quota for a specific racial demographic? And so that's a bit of a downfall too on the employment side.
Good game there, Elder. We appreciate it. Thank you for tapping in.
Thanks for having me.
Shout out to UF.
Yes.
I had to dig you a little bit, but you represent Howard. You don't represent UF. So there we go. You're Howard all the way, baby.
No. And listen. You gotta let listen. She's just a educational person.
Both. Yeah.
Listen, she got left and the right hand. She'll cross you.
Right, multifaceted, right?
We love it.
Thank
you for the game. Great game, Elder. Thank you. We appreciate it. Hey, well, here's where I stand on. I stand on this. I had a great experience at HBCU. I used to visit USF, UCF, other schools, and I see what the allure is. The resources, the dorms are better. Everything's just better, when it comes to resources. But I wouldn't trade my experience for anything in the world. I don't know if any of my college homies are in the chat, but I think they would agree with me that I wouldn't trade my FAMU experience for anything in the world. I love FAMU. I get back whenever I can. And just as a shout out to any of my nieces and nephews that are on here, Mia, Gotti, all you guys, you're going to FAMU. So this is not a topic you even need to worry about. You're going to FAMU and that's it. That's where I stand on, man. Go ahead. You guys got it.
Hey, all right, I'll go. What I stand on is essentially is kind of what Elder kind of spoke on is you have to know your child. You have to know what they're trying to do, what their major is, and see what type of settings they want to kind of put themselves into, to be in for work environment. So if they're going to start a business or be in the community with the Fortune 500 companies, you may have to kind of be in these settings with the PWIs. You understand? Just you have to know yourself, know your child, and then if you want the best of both worlds, like Elder, guess what? Pick your undergrad and pick your grad. So you get the best of both worlds. So that's what it is.
No, facts. So here's where I'm at, right? And here's what I stand on. Listen, first of all, absolutely pick the school. First of all, no matter what you do, once you decide what you want to do, you need to do your research and find a school that has the right program to help you actually get in that direction, right? So first and foremost, it is an interview process. It's got to fit you just as much as you got to fit it, right? And so as parents, what I believe what you need to be doing is not telling your kids what to do, unlike South Florida Sid over here, who's like the family legacy will stay in place, right? And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because if you didn't have that mentality, right? Just like I'm sure, listen, Elder has no problem, I'm sure, sending her baby to UF, right? And those where the tiebreakers come in, right? I want people to know that's where the tiebreaker comes in. If the school doesn't have the program, you ain't going there, right? If there's a school that's closer that has a better program, it depends on your child, which is why, like I said, I had twins. One went to Valdosta State and one went to FAMU, right? Couldn't be more polar opposite. But what you want to do is make sure your kids get what they need. And truth be told, what you really want is for your children to come out of college, for me, battle tested and ready to go for whatever life is about to push their way, right? What I know is this, right? I know my son needed to know he needed to know how to navigate this world of all the things that would entice him to do bad things. So
we know what that means. We know what that means.
Yes. He needed that education before he needed anything else. Now you need to be locked in on these books, son.
Yeah.
Right. Man. And what Jada needed, and this is just my personal opinion, what Jada needed was Jada just needed someone that would give her an opportunity to really, really kind of stand on her own too. Right. Jada built a heck of a name for herself at a PWI, which I think at an HBCU, it might have been a little bit harder for you know how you guys treat light-skinned people, man. Y'all treat light-skinned people bad out there, man. You know what I mean?
Don't do that.
at the end of the day, you got to do what's in the best interest of your children, right? Send them where they belong, send them where they're going to get that education. But at the end of the day, just be there for them and stay the strong support system. So no matter what, even if it's the bad decision, it ain't the last decision, and we can fix it.
Boom. Love it. What we got next, guys? What we got next?
What do we have next? I'm if I'm not mistaken, I think isn't it time for South Florida Sid's top 10?
Whoa.
Is that where we are? If we are there, bear with us for a minute.
Time.
So are we ready?
8 time.
Are we ready for the top 10?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, hold on.
I want to
let's
see.
see.
We need to hold this man accountable. Elder.
And it is time for the top 10. First of all, Gary, big time on that production, man. You're doing some good stuff there. Shout out to you on that. It is time for the top 10. I know you've been patiently waiting. I know you're like, fine, PWI, HBCU, who cares? Just get to the top 10. That's what I really want to see. So we are here with the top 10 in honor, not in honor, unfortunately, but we're going to use the word honor. In honor of our brother, Vince Young, getting knocked out in the dive bar. I thought to myself, what should be the new top 10, which is the top 10 places you should not be going to anymore when you're 40 or over. Stay out of these places. Don't go anymore. Vince Young shouldn't have been in the dive bar, but we're going to get there.
This going to be funny.
So,
this going to be funny.
Number 10, why are you still going to psychics and muses? Psychic, they can't see the future. You're 45 years old, still going to a psychic. Leave the psychic alone and stop paying the psychic $1 an hour.
Miss Cleo is in jail. I forgot to say Miss Cleo is in jail.
Yeah. She's in jail.
Y'all need to stop.
When you're 40 and up, leave the psychics alone. That's number 10.
I do want to put it out there that the Bible does say to beware of all soothsayers. So you are now aligned with Christian value, my friend. Okay, yes. I just wanted to make sure.
Stop calling the psychic hotline at 45. Grow up. Number 9. Why are you 40 and up still going to GameStop? Not going to GameStop for your kids' video game. You're going to GameStop because of you. You go to GameStop with your Halo shirt on, standing in line, pushing little kids out of the way. I need to hurry up and get this new Halo video game. Stay out of GameStop, man. Order it online if you have to. You look corny.
Stay out of GameStop. Wow.
Yes. Number 8. If you're 40 and up, stay away from all you can eat buffets. We can't do it anymore. Your body won't let you eat at Golden Corral anymore. At the end of the day, you cannot go to these buffets. Eating your first plate is macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and fried chicken. Your second plate is lao mein, fried rice, and teriyaki chicken. Your third plate is steak, potatoes, and then you get the ice cream cone at the end of it. You will be on the toilet within 15 minutes. Your body cannot do it 45. Stay out of all you can eat buffets. Number 7. Why are you still 45 going to karate class with the beginner belt? You have a gold belt, right? With the thing. What's the thing called? The thing, right? What's the thing they wear with the belt on it? Don't let me catch you at karate class with a gold belt. I'm serious.
No, I'm clowning. You can't do that, bro.
I'm clowning.
It's never too late to learn a new skill, man. You can't.
I agree. I agree.
What's the thing called that you wear with the white thing?
I don't know.
A karate gi.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. But stay out of it. Stay out of there. Number 6, right? Stay away at 45 years and up from hip hop and rap concerts. Come on. We don't need to be going to Rod Wave concerts. We don't need to be going to concerts. Shout out to my man Ray Shelton, who went to a Drake concert, I think he said, and he said, man, I was out of place. I knew at that point I absolutely positively should not have been at that concert. When we're 45 and up, unless you're taking your kid with you, stay out of there. No more rap concerts for us. Unless you're going to an old school concert or something like that. Stay out of rap concerts. Right?
I disagree, but keep it moving. I disagree. I disagree. Go ahead, G-Man. Go ahead, G-Man. Go ahead.
Can you at least define what old school concert is from what year back?
I would say 19. We can discuss it, but a 45-year-old shouldn't be at a Rod Wave concert.
Exactly.
I told you we gotta hold this motherfucker accountable, man. We
A
gotta hold
45-year-old should not be at a Rod Wave
That's
concert.
what I
I'm
was
sorry.
doing. I'm
You
trying
can't
to
be at a
hold him
Rod Wave
accountable.
concert.
I was gonna go to the
Number
Rod Wave
5.
concert.
Rod Wave is in jail anyway. Rod Wave's in jail. Keep going.
Number
Keep going.
5.
Rod Wave's in
No
jail. Go
more
ahead.
hanging. No more hanging out at the barbershop or the beauty salon just to hang out at 40 up. You just go. You're not getting a haircut, not getting a haircut. You just want to go there and gossip and drink. You cannot do that anymore. It's over. It's played out. Get your hair cut and go home. Don't hang around and sit around and get you a bottle and do all that stuff. We're done. Man. You're 40 and up. Stop.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Barbers, I'm gonna be honest. Barbers are
like family, bro.
They're family, and they're like damn near therapists. I can go to my barber and talk about and vent about anything, my brother. So you can't stay. You say you trying to tell me I can't get my hair cut and get some advice at the same time?
No, but you're gonna go to the corner store next door, get you a bottle, and then hang out for another 45 minutes after you got your hair cut?
Maybe 30. Maybe 30. Maybe 30. You know what I mean? Maybe 30 minutes.
Okay. Listen. Okay. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having a beer with your barber. You know what I'm saying? Especially like, okay, what if? So first of all, I want to say this: in different cultures, right?
Okay.
In different cultures, the barbershop has different meanings, right? We ain't talking about supercuts, right? I'm talking about if you're going to like a guy that's been cutting your hair for the
longest
years, 20
years. He knows your dad, he knows your mom, he knows your grandma. Yeah, it's a whole
If you want, there's a beer in the refrigerator. If you want, you know,
exactly.
You just got your haircut.
You guys win. You win. Fair enough. You can.
Thank you. The barbershop. I heard the barbershop was like a therapy session. It is. It really is. I talked to my barber. We vent. And
pay the real therapist $100 an hour.
I don't. Hey, listen. I ain't gonna spend $300 versus 30 or 40. So we good.
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep it going. Number 4.
What's up?
Number 4. Vince Young, stay out of dive bars. What is a dive bar? If you walk into a bar,
I don't know,
and they don't serve food, and tequila shots are $1 and beer is $2 all night long, you don't need to be in there if you're 40 and up. Stay out of there. If you saw the video of Vince Young, the first thing you would think to yourself is, why was he even there? Stay out of these places, man. There's 40 and up places, the cigar bars and stuff like that. Stay out of there. Stay out of it, 100%. Right?
What if you hide? So is it that you would only go there if you're hiding?
What happened hiding? What do you mean?
Like, you know, I'm going somewhere where I know nobody else that knows me would ever.
There's a lot of places he could have been at. If you saw the video, there's a lot of places he could have been at. He could have been at a cigar, wherever. He didn't have to be there. That was a dive bar, and unfortunately, the night did not end very well for him. Number 3. We're getting down to number 3. All ages clubs. Why are you 40 and up going to all ages clubs? It's not really an all ages club just because they call it that. It's an all ages. It's an all ages club. 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 60-year-olds will be there. But guess what? 40-year-olds should not be in the all ages clubs. Stop. What are you doing? Stay out of all ages clubs.
We call them pedophiles, but keep it moving.
Yes. Stay out of all ages clubs. Number 2. Why are you 40 and up and you and your friends are getting together to get a hotel and to hang out on spring break weekend in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Cancun? No, you're past that. Yeah, man, me and the homies, we're going to get a hotel in the Fontainebleau and we're going to hang out all week, for spring break week. Dude, you're 40. No, you should not be doing that. Stay home and watch that.
That's only happening if you're still single at 40. I want to make sure y'all understand.
Man,
ain't no married woman letting their husband go anywhere that weekend, brother.
Exactly. Yeah. Stay out of spring break weekend. Now, number 1 in the top 10 places, if you're 40 and up, you should not be it. You should not be in the tattoo shop getting your first tattoo at 40 and up. Stop it. If I see you 40 and up at the tattoo shop, getting, only God can judge me, right? On your arm, or, on your chest, getting something. No. You cannot get your first tattoo 40 and up. If you don't have one by now, it's over. It's done with. You're done. Stay out of it. And that is your top 10.
Listen,
Hey, we get a round of
I
applause
got
for
a
that,
question.
man. Round of applause for that.
That was funny. That's
Round of
classic.
applause for that. That
But I
hey,
do
that might be the funniest top 10 so far that you've
Hey man,
done. Now that was
they're
hilarious.
gonna keep getting better and better. You know.
listen.
I love it.
I do want to say this, right? I do want to say that you have just literally eliminated. You have basically just told everybody they're not allowed to go through a midlife crisis.
You're absolutely right.
Listen, that is everything that anybody that has. I never got my tattoos when I was younger. I'm going to get it today, right? Listen, I'm going to say this. As funny as South Florida Sid's top 10 is, man. Listen, mental health is real, man. Go do whatever makes you happy. I don't care what.
We're having fun. You're right. We're having some fun with it. You know.
Somebody
That's your top 10.
says,
You guys in 2 weeks, definitely.
shout out to Vivi Mo. As a man, sharing a hotel room with friends is definitely a turn off. Listen, can I tell a story real quick about that? Because it was just all I could think about when he said sharing a hotel room with your friends. Listen, I went on I'm just gonna say I went on a work trip, right? And while I'm on this work trip, it's you know, we were like, we were very cool. So we were like, yeah, man, listen, let's just say we'll save some money, we'll share a room. Because we didn't even really we didn't hit nobody for it. We started asking for reimbursement.
Saying let's share a room.
So we shared no Diddy. No Diddy Bob on that one. Listen. So anyways, when it was time to go to bed, Buddy like went down to the white drawers, right? And just hopped in the bed. I was like, yeah, okay. This is why you don't share a room when you're when you're 30 and up, bro.
Wait,
no more
wait, so wait. Hold on. Time out. So you trying to say sharing a room with a male, you have hotel etiquetteness, is what you're saying?
Listen, first of all, I'm saying don't share a room at all, bro. It's not. Listen.
Oh, okay. Oh, the way you said it made it seem like, hey, bro, you're gonna share a room with a male that's not really into males, and he has a family, he's married. We have etiquette. You may want to put on some pajamas, a top and a bottom, not show just your bottoms. That's basically what you're saying.
Let me be very clear. Yes, you're. I do believe that I expected when I went on that when I decided to participate in that idea. I thought that we would both understand. Ain't nobody getting into bed with their drawers on. That ain't happening.
Hey, listen, that's what a lot of victims thought allegedly with Mr. Diddy. But
we're gonna get to that in a minute.
But that's another. That's a whole other topic. But I think we want to pay some bills real quick. G-Man, let the people know. So we got to pay some bills real quick. Then we got another topic that I'm gonna bring in. So let's pay some bills real quick.
Well, listen. So shout out to the sponsors. Here we go.
And now, a message from our sponsors.
You know, people always tell me, Jason, man, you throw the greatest parties. What's your secret? And I say, actually, it's pretty simple. 2 rules. Rule number 1, don't ever ride a Gibbs Reserve wine. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Gibbs Reserve wine. You'll love the way it tastes.
Remember, always drink responsibly.
And shout out to Gibbs Reserve Wine, our sponsor in the back. Hope you guys love that commercial, man. Really pushing Gibbs Reserve Wine as long as as long as they let us, you know. But shout out to that, man.
Hey, listen. Yeah, and also, not to cut y'all. Put a 1 in the chat if you love that commercial, man. Just put a 1 in the chat if you like that actual commercial. Go ahead.
Appreciate it.
And listen, I also want to make sure we shout out Mr. Daily Insight and his Monday motivation and his Wednesday wake you up. You know, listen, that dude got a something for every day. He got a Tuesday talk to me Tuesdays, right? Fantastic and fabulous Fridays, you know, full of fortune and fun. You know what I mean? And
I'm gonna bring that real soon. So we'll have a few of those. You know what I'm saying? Intertwined in the actual show. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So more sponsor videos to come. Listen. We're trying to get there, man. We're doing greatness one step at a time, man. Bear with us, man. Watch the journey. You know what I mean? So listen, what's the next topic though? What's the next topic?
All right, next topic it's gonna be more so of a relationship topic. So the topic is, do people change in relationships / marriages only for people they really love. I'm gonna repeat that one more time. Do people change in relationships and marriages only for the people that they really love? Now, I can say yes, just to answer the question, right? So if you're in a relationship or if you've been in relationships with people and you kind of been doing the same thing, kind of just messing around, let's just say you kind of living life, you're young, and you're like, you know what? I'm in my mind. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have no kids. I just want to live my life and party, right? But you come across an individual. Let's say this is a woman. I'm the male, right? You come across a young woman. Things are different. She makes you a better person. She changes the way you think. She got you eating healthy. You're drinking soy milk now. You know, you're working out. Whatever the case may be, right? So in those situations, is it safe to say that you typically wouldn't change or do anything for a individual, but for this particular person, you would change because they make you a better person. They make you a better man. They make you change your mindset. They build you up. Is it safe to say if that's a marriage, it's the same kind of concept? A man may say, I ain't never getting married, but you meet that one person that say, you know what? I'll risk it all for this one individual. Is that safe to say that they'll change for this person? So, but we beg to argue right now that in most situations, people are not changing in those situations. So I think people will change for the betterment, long as they don't change who they are, their DNA. They'll just change some habits about the ways to make them a better person. So what do you guys think about that actual topic? What did you say? So if you want to chime in, guys, join the chat. I see Corinzo's in here. It's been in here for a while, but you got to show your face to join the actual chat. But you guys go ahead, chime in.
Well, you know, I'll say this. I was watching the Rory and Mal show, and kind of what had me thinking about this topic was they were talking about a girl that Mal knew and had been knowing for a while. And Mal was describing the girl like, oh man, she's really cool and I like her, you know, kind of like, yeah, you know, we kind of been off and on in a relationship over the last decade or so, you know, we've kind of, so he was describing her. So Rory was like, wait a minute, what girl are you talking about? And he said the girl's name, and he's like, no, that can't be the same girl. Like, there's no way. Like, I know her. She's crazy, you know? And Marlon was like, nah, man, no, not at all. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I've never seen that side of her. You know, we've kind of been off and on in a relationship for a while. And Rory had a look on his face like, this can't be the same girl. Because the girl I know, nothing like that. And it got me to thinking from the standpoint of, you know, I guess people, whether men or women, for people that they love, they want to be in a relationship with, they want to be with, they do make wholesale, hardcore changes in personalities in order to do what it takes to be with that person. It's, I guess, if a woman went to a man and said, look, if you really love me, you'll stop drinking, right? You'll give up alcohol, or you'll give up, legalize weed. You know, if you have a marijuana card or something, you throw the marijuana card in the garbage can. You'll leave this alone forever, right? Or whatever a vice is. If I guess, is it a situation where if the man really loves the woman, that he would do it, that he would give up drinking, or marijuana card, or whatever. Yeah.
Well, listen. I wanted to bring maybe a different perspective to this, right? Because if you look at the ticker, right, like, the second part of that question is so we're saying that if somebody won't change, it means that they don't love you. And I don't necessarily think that that's the case, right? I think that at the end of the day, I think first of all, I think people have to want to change regardless, right? And so I think maybe a better question is do people that love you more than themselves, right? Like, because at the end of the day, if I don't want to change something and I love me enough to say, dude, this is something that I'm comfortable in, it makes me, so I feel like you have to either believe on one level that it is actually a better thing, right? I'm making myself better by making this change, right? Mm-hmm. I have to believe that to do that. If I don't, then I'm never going to be able to make the change. And even if I find a way to fake it for a minute, it's not sustainable, right?
Exactly. Wait, so hold on, and I'm on that real quick. So, because I like this here. Mm-hmm. So,
by the way, hey Jamie, what's up? I see you. By the way, let me shout out to Jamie. What's up? I see you.
Go ahead.
We worldwide now. We got all the way from Santo Domingo. What's up, Jamie? What's going
All
on?
right,
My
all
bad.
right.
Go ahead.
Thank
We
you.
made it. My bad. Go
Thank
ahead,
you
though.
for joining. No, you're good. So in that regard, Mr. G, man, let's just say I meet someone, I'm 600 pounds, right? And I know, and I already said to myself, I'm 600 pounds, I need to change. But I meet somebody and I'm trying, and I'm like, I know I need to change. But she's basically saying, you know what, you need to change. I want you to be around here a lot longer. Isn't that's you need to change, but you think you're comfortable or this is not something you shouldn't change? I know that's an extreme example, but that is an example. Like, yeah, I need to change, but I don't want to change because I love my food and I don't want to work out.
Well,
Like,
that's
you see
first of
what I'm
all,
saying?
that's definitely a lack of discipline, right? And that's another one of those things where it's like, listen, that is something where I know that I need to change this, right? It's not just this one person telling me I need to change this.
Correct.
It is the entire world. You turn on, listen, you go on TikTok and you get to swiping, you're gonna see at least 20 videos of somebody saying, "You old fat motherfucker, get your ass up, work out, bitch." You know, listen, you're gonna see motherfuckers like, "Listen, I'm getting my body back together." Da, da,
Yeah,
da, da.
man.
Listen, that is something that you are going to hear over and over and over and over. So that is not, to me, you changing for that person. That is like somebody, like I said, somebody saying, "You know what? I don't like the tone in which you speak to me." Right? And you don't hear that from anybody else, but you hear it from that one person. I just don't like your tone. I feel like you need to change your tone because it feels like when you do that, it makes me feel like this. It's not about you being a better person. It's not about how it affects your household, your income. It's literally just, I don't like the way it makes me feel when you speak to me this way. Right? But you can speak to everybody else and they're like, hey, they know you're comfortable. They're cool with that, right? But this one person wants you to change, right? That is something where it's like, no, that takes work, right? Because that is something that I'm sure that you've been doing for me it'll be for the last 42 years. I've been doing something a certain way. And now you want me to change the way I do it because you don't like the way it feels, not because it makes me better as a person, live longer, make more money. It has nothing to do with that. It's just simply your feelings, right? I don't think people understand how difficult that is to change. And so, yes, I would have to love your presence in my life more than that thing, right?
What about
That's
the
strong.
refusal? What about the
That's
refusal to
strong.
change, though? Because a lot of people, are in relationships and they're just like, should I marry this person? Right? If you're in a relationship with somebody, you've been in a relationship for 5 years, and you're like, I'm considering maybe taking it to the next step and getting married, right? And you're like, but there's a few things about this person that I don't know if I really like, So if they can't make these changes for me, then I won't marry them. I'll move on. Is that fair to do or fair to, within reason?
Listen, I think it's necessary to do. Dude, it's necessary. Here's what I'm saying, bro.
It's the yin
Don't
and the
marry
yang, to be
somebody.
honest.
Don't marry somebody. Don't marry anybody and then get in a relationship hoping that something is going to change over time, that you could eventually build up resentment, frustration, right? Because those are the things that are like, it's an erosion process. It erodes away at the fabric of your marriage. And then you get to the point where now all of a sudden I can rip that fabric apart, right? If I just keep washing my t-shirt over and over and over and over again, eventually you're going to start seeing holes in your socks, holes in your t-shirt because it rips away at it. It weakens the fabric, right? It weakens the fabric. So I'd rather have a dirty ass t-shirt that's never been washed and is strong as shit, right? It's stronger than a motherfucker. Then that clean ass shit, it look good on the outside, right? You look good on the outside, but I'm saying to you right now, if you don't want to change, you're not going to be successful in that. You're going to end up wasting your time and everybody else's in this relationship if you don't handle it a certain way. And that's why I say
that's true.
You have to want to change for you first, and then you have to want whatever that marriage has to mean more to you than the thing that you're changing for, right? Like, you know what I mean? And that's why I say you got to be very fucking careful about trying to make those changes. The divorce rate is already way higher than motherfucker. So we need to already start bringing that shit down by not jumping into these relationships fucking recklessly because we just don't want to be. If you don't want to be single, motherfucker, right? You still need to find companionship. Go get you a dog, get you a cat, right? Don't be jumping out here and trying to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or fiance or whatever.
And messing somebody else's life up. Yeah.
Listen, the whole crew fucked up now because you out here miserable. Now you walking around mad and angry. And that's why I tell people, like, you know, sometimes you have to allow people to be themselves, right? I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, you know, and it, well, not a friend of mine, I should say a coworker, and they were talking to me about some issues like, oh, my husband, he's always mad. I said, listen, it's not always about you. He might be carrying a weight. He might be carrying a weight from work for somewhere else that is just allows him. And here's what happens. When men have imbalance in their life, they can be very, very short. They can be very, very mean, right? And not intentionally mean. It's just, listen, I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders right now.
Yes,
and this is not about you, right? But then that woman is like, you need to stop being like that. That is who I am, ma'am. I'm sorry, right? And so what I want is not someone that expects me to change because I love them. I want someone that's going to show me grace because they love me.
Exactly. But is there anything? Is there anything that you? Well, maybe it's a loaded question. Is there anything you would give up for love? But so I guess But I guess let's just say in a relationship, not in a marriage, in a relationship standpoint, is there anything within reason that you would give up for somebody, or is it one of those give and take? Like, hey, well, if I give this up, what are you going to give up? Kind of like a yin and a yang type thing,
Yeah, yin and yang. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm gonna say this. I've been sacrificing. I believe I've been changing my entire relationship, right? But these are the changes that, like we mentioned earlier, right? Lump talked about being overweight. Listen, I had to give up donuts last week, man. I'm mad at the motherfucker, but right, I got to lose some weight, and my wife is on me, and that is a place where you say, okay, this person's asking me to cut something out because it's going to make me better, right? Get healthier, live longer, right? And actually have a better quality of life. I'm gonna be able to go on vacations and do whatever it is that we need to do. I'm not gonna be falling asleep in the movie theater because my metabolism done stopped, right? So those are changes that you make throughout the duration of your relationship, because you should always be trying to become a better person every day, right?
You should be evolving. Yeah.
But one thing that I can tell you that I changed personally, and I don't know if it was, and once again, it's another thing, right? It's another thing that just made me a better person, is I used to really I would word things in a way to try to make everybody happy. Right, and that could be perceived as being misleading or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
And the only person that I heard that from consistently, because that person saw enough of me to know that's what I was doing, was my wife, right? And so now, I just lay it out there. It is what it is, big boy, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
No Diddy on that. No Diddy on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better watch. You better watch yourself, cause it's like we keep talking about Diddy and stuff, but we gonna end up on this last topic talking about Diddy. Well, that's the crazy part. But then
here's what I said. What do you stand on, Mr. Diddy? What do you stand on when it comes to this topic? And we see some great comments. There's some great comments in the chat. We see you.
Hold on.
Great comments there. I see it. I love it.
I think you really need to understand the intent behind any request that is being asked. Or really, does it provide an introspective to one's own life? Ooh,
great stuff, Emil.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting topic, thought process. Yeah. When it comes to it, one, like you said, one needs to kind of take an accountability amongst oneself and say, hey, you know what? Is this going to benefit me? Is it going to change? Is a person wanting me to change because they have a ending to some type of vendetta, to some type of end goal to it, where they want me to be? Or is it more so, hey, they're looking out for my best interest? But one needs to kind of take into account who it's coming from. So if this person asks you to change, why they asking you to change? Is it for a personal game? Is it for something else? Are they trying to see you self-destruct? you have to kind of take into accountability, which is extremely important as well. But if you're what I'm gonna stand on, if you're really wanting actual change, make sure it's a sincere change. Make sure you want to evolve. Make sure it's something that you want to do, because guess what? If you do try to make that change, like for example, if you're a hardcore drinker and let's say you're with your wife, whatever the case may be, and you say, you know what? And your wife said, hey, you better give this up or I'm leaving you. If it's something you don't want to give up, you may have to just tell her, listen, man, I ain't willing to give this up. I'm gonna have to let you go. Because it's something that you're not really going to do. You're going to revert back to it, and you're going to start making some bad decisions at the end. And it's basically going to self-destruct you and that person and that actual family. So if it's something that you're really not trying to do, that's what I'm standing on. Don't do it. Be honest with yourself. And that's where you'll find like more peace in that, because if you try to change, you're going to be miserable as hell. And when you really don't want to do it, trust me, I'm one of those individuals. If I'm a self-destruct and I don't want to do it, guess what? I'm not going to do it, and it's going to affect everybody. So that's what
Great
I stand
comment,
on.
Viv. I love the comment, Viv. I see it, man. Great stuff. Well, here's where I stand on. Look, at the end of the day, change as we get older, I think it's difficult for everybody. And I feel like I love what Vivian said. When your actions hurt the people, I'll just read it. When your actions hurt the people you love, you got to reevaluate if it's important enough for you to change. You must have willingness to change for yourself, especially if it makes you better. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, change that is positive change, that is positive change for the people around you, right? You start feeling better about yourself. People around you start feeling better about you. They start seeing the changes in you. And in that, relationships get better, marriages get better, situationships, friendships, whatever. Everything just gets better around you once you're open to change, that people are consistently telling you things that you need to change. So that's what I stand on 100%.
Did you say situationships?
Well, hey, look, somebody might be in a situationship. We don't know. We have a rounded view. Our viewership is very rounded, so we got to touch everybody,
Hey, this is a judgment-free zone, brother.
Yeah, we got to touch everybody.
Judgment-free zone,
we have a lot of viewers.
I was just making sure that's what I heard, but I'm like, wait, did this fellow say?
We have a lot of viewers, so
it's all good.
Judgment-free zone, my friend. Judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free. You're right.
Listen, here's what I want to stand on, and I think that we've each touched on different things, and I think that's the value of having the conversation with varying perspectives. And I agree with everything that was said, but I also want to make sure that we make very clear, right? Yes, you should change if it is for the betterment of you, right? And because then if it makes you better, then it makes the people around you better, and it makes your relationships better. That's 1,000%. I want to caution you against being so in love with someone else that you change something about yourself that does not warrant change, something that affects you, that is going to eventually affect you in a negative way, because mental health is a problem in our community right now, right? You got people out here and you love your partner more than you love yourself, and then you make these changes and you make these sacrifices, and you're half the person you used to be, right? And you're unhappy, and listen, and eventually leading to some space where there's some domestic violence, there's some toxic relationships going on. Like, at the end of the day, you have to say, listen, man, I am going to do what is in the best interest of me, because that should be what is in the best interest of you. Like I said earlier, find you somebody that loves you enough to give you grace in your flaws, right?
Good point.
Now, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't hold you accountable for your behavior. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't bring it up. Listen, I know all of y'all know my wife, and she, listen. I ain't getting away with shit.
Like B said, kudos to your wife for letting you know about that. 100%. So yes.
Absolutely. So listen, find someone that loves you enough to give you grace, but also hold you accountable. To me, that's gonna be one of the pathways to a successful, long-lasting relationship. Don't assume that because he won't change or she won't change that they don't love you. What it might mean is that they love something about themselves more than they love you, and that might be okay. Or it may be just something that is going on in their life that has nothing to do with you.
So
don't get so self-focused and self-centered that everything that happens is just you don't love me.
he don't love me because he don't want to change. He don't love me.
You don't love me. I don't want to hear that shit, man.
Yeah, man.
I stand
Great
on
stuff.
that.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great topic. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff.
Listen, but you know what I'm trying to figure out, right? Listen, I want to talk about. Are
we gonna go through our sponsors or we good? We pay some bills or we good?
It is sponsor time. It is sponsor time.
We gotta pay some bills. We gotta pay some bills.
Let's pay the bills, baby.
And now, a message from our sponsor.
You know, people always tell me, Jason, man, you throw the greatest parties. What's your secret? And I say, actually, it's pretty simple. 2 rules. Rule number 1, don't ever ride a Gibbs Reserve wine. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Gibbs Reserve wine. You'll love the way it tastes.
Remember, always drink responsibly.
Hey, Jay said, listen, boy, you gonna get some people like, yo, who did that commercial? Who was the model in that commercial? I
got visions of the next. I already got visions of the next commercial. I already got my vision. It's gonna be fun.
Every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, boy, that's it. That's it right there. I love it.
Oh, I got my vision. You guys got to be a part of the next commercial. I already got my vision and everything. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be crazy.
And listen, shout out to Billy D. Williams for inspiring South Florida Sid in his nice Colt 45. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Definitely.
That is if y'all didn't know, go Google the Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams Colt 45. Yes.
Colt 45 commercial, so you can know where the inspiration came from.
Exactly.
But listen, all I want to do is just make sure that we get to this one topic. And listen, I want to make sure I want to make sure people understand. Right? Is Diddy a bad boy? Are we finna get loose? We're like, what's finna happen right now? I've been seeing all of this stuff all over the news about Diddy this and Diddy that. And 50 talking about it's no longer Diddy do it, it's Diddy's done. Right? 50 been on him, man. 50 been on him. So listen, just on a timeline level, right? I want to run through just a couple of things really quick. So back in November 2023, I'm sure everybody remembers that Cassie and 2 other people filed some lawsuits against Diddy. Real severe allegations. Diddy ended up settling that civil suit with Cassie the day after she filed the suit, right? I want to make sure y'all understand. He actually settled the day after she filed suit. And that and what they had to agree to not talk about was so severe, right? It was actually it's a laundry list of things that Cassie is not allowed to even talk about, and so I want to make sure that people understand how why
she not allowed to talk about them? Why she not allowed to talk about them?
Right, the settlement, right? There's a settlement agreement. So what that means is that no one said that Diddy did it, no one said that Diddy didn't do it. But what it means is that there was something that Diddy didn't want to come out for sure, right? And he paid her. He paid her to keep her mouth shut, and I guess for the wounds and the damages and everything else. But from what I'm hearing, it's actually Cassie's husband who, when he realized all of the things that happened to his wife based on what she told him, he's been really driving his car by saying, "Listen, man," and I don't know. Listen, I don't know Cassie. I don't know her. I don't know who she with. But these are the things that I'm hearing, right? And then you got in December 2023, right? There's a Jane Doe that says she was gang raped at 17, right? And this was during that window of time in which they allowed the
allegedly. We got to throw that word out. Allegedly,
1,000%, right? I said that's why I said she says she was gang raped at the age of 17. And there was an extension filed that allowed the statute of limitations not to be an issue, and it just expired. And in that window of time, that's when these 3 civil suits popped out. And now the actual federal government is actually now allowed to investigate and potentially.
This is the year.
This is the year, right?
This is the year. Everybody can come forward.
So I'm gonna tell you right now. Then in February of 2024. Rodney Jones, who is actually, I guess his name is Lil Rod, right? He accuses Diddy and his enterprises basically of some RICO shit, man, right? listen, the drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and I want to make sure that people understand with sex trafficking, that is literally just as simple as somebody getting on Diddy's private jet and going to Atlanta from New York and having sex with somebody. And listen, all he has to do is the perceived profit, right? Or it doesn't have to mean that he paid somebody to do it. If he did it, and let's say he just recorded it with his cell phone, right? Someone would say that video has a monetary value to it, right? Which would allow them to hit him with this RICO, right? So I want people to understand that, like, the minutia in which they're using to charge Diddy with this stuff it can be very small. It can be something that you guys do every day. I see women on the internet every day talking about he flew me out. Don't I'm gonna get flued out. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, what's happening is, and listen, shout out to Joe Budden. Joe Budden said on his pod the other day, he said, I hope people understand that this is the end of the freak parties. Right?
Did you say freak?
The end of the freak parties.
Meaning, freak parties. Okay.
Yeah, freak parties. He's like, listen, you can't go and fly some strippers in and have them dancing for your boys' bachelor party no more, right? And this is not Joe Budden's words; these are mine. You can't fly a stripper in from Atlanta down to Miami and say, hey, listen, we having a bachelor party for my boy, and then she mess around and somebody sleep with her. All of a sudden, you can get hit with sex trafficking.
Yeah,
like that's the nature of what's happening right now, right? Then in March, we all know that 2 of Diddy's houses, one on the West Coast, one in Miami, right, were raided by Homeland Security. I want people to understand what it takes, right? I want people to understand what it takes to get Homeland Security and a federal warrant to do a raid on your crib.
Talk about it.
Right? Listen, they got something, right? If you didn't see that video, if you didn't see the video, go watch the video. Look at the type of artillery that they pulled out to go and just do a search in a raid of this man's crib, right? One, listen, it feels like they must have been tipped off that he was destroying evidence. Something had to have happened for them to go in there and raid that man's crib with no arrest warrants. Normally, if they raid you like that, you're coming out in handcuffs.
Well, hold on. The kids, but they showed from the helicopter footage,
they didn't get arrested. They were not arrested. They were not arrested.
Detained.
Okay. They were detained.
Now, where was Diddy? Where was Diddy around this time?
Diddy was on his They said Diddy was on the private jet flying, right? And then at some point in time, when they located the jet, he landed. They found him somewhere in Miami. But you know, at the end of the day, they actually said that Diddy's jet ended up then again taking off, and Diddy was never on it, but it was somebody else that was on it, right? And I feel like I can't remember. I think it was one of somebody's friend. I don't. What's the young lady's name? What's the young lady that he's
Young Miami?
It was one of her friends that he was getting out of the country, right? And then we all know about his alleged drug and sex trafficking person, the kid that played basketball at
the drug mule. I think Brendan Paul.
Drug mule. That's his name.
Paul. They call him a drug mule.
The drug mule. Yeah, get the hell out of here.
You know, they caught him in Dade County trying to get on Diddy's private jet. So he got arrested by Miami-Dade trying to hop on Diddy's private jet to get out. So listen, there's something. Let's be real. So let's start with this. You don't get to be as successful as Diddy is without doing some shit that somebody could get you on, right?
Yes.
He's done some shit that somebody could get him on. Now,
I'm surprised you didn't talk about the Diageo thing with the liquor company. How this is all very coincidental.
Well, I want to speak on that real quick. So within that, you all guys know who Uncle Luke is, Mr. 305, Mr. Shake Your Ass, Mr. Pop It for everybody, whatever. I've never seen Luke on TikTok ever since his existence. Luke gets on TikTok and having the conversation about Diddy's, how he's basically acting. So, and honestly, Luke has went through Supreme Court filings and all type of fighting the big boys. Luke know all about it. So Luke just honestly explained himself and say, listen, Diddy thought he was bigger than everyone else. Diddy thought he could get away with anything because he was just bigger than life and he had everything. They was like, listen, as big as you are, they're prepared to knock your butt right back down to reality. And I honestly think that's kind of what's going on. And I'm pretty sure Diddy has had counsel in his ear saying, hey, listen, Diddy, I wouldn't advise you to do this. I wouldn't advise you to do this. I wouldn't advise you to say this. I wouldn't advise you to challenge this, because guess what? I'm sure, and I'm going to throw this name up, Mr. Jay-Z. He might be on that same cattle totem pole. If Jay-Z were to do something out of bounds, I guarantee they'll knock him down and they'll be after him as well. So I think Diddy just is on his high.
And listen, not to interject and cut you off, but I do want to mention the fact that, dude, they already talking about Jay, right? And
really,
listen, Jaguar Wright has been killing Jay-Z and Tina Knowles and Diddy and everybody on the internet for a while now, right?
I didn't hear that yet.
Jay-Z, Jaguar Wright is saying that Jay-Z has been drugging Beyonce and that she's being held captive, and that her mom is like sold her to the industry just so that she could be famous. I just want people to know, listen, they went back and found a video of Jay-Z mushing some young lady when he was like 20 years old or something like that. Like, that's how they build it on you, bro. Like they building it on everybody. They trying to take
why now?
My thing is, hold on, I'm gonna let you go here after I go. So basically, they have things on you, right? They have videotapes, they have recordings, they have whatever it is they have on you. They can use against you and basically, you know what I'm saying, knock you down, or you know what I'm saying. You know, they bought the media. I believe in the powers that be, the people that have the power to take you down, to build you up. I believe in that. That's just my thought process. That's just what it is. No one can change that. So I think at this point, Diddy's at that moment where the powers that be, they're trying to tear him down. They're trying to take everything away from him. So I think that's kind of what's going on at this point. So
from what I've heard so far, here's what I've heard, right? The FBI went in there and said they led us to believe that there was videotape of sex with underage minors or rape going on. That's what they told us, right? Now I feel like because they haven't been able to find whatever this evidence is of sex with minors and rape and all kind of debauchery, right? Now they're trying to feed us another story of cocaine, which is all over South Beach. You want to catch people with cocaine and just go knock on doors on every door in South Beach. There's cocaine everywhere, right? So that's what we're getting them on. Orgies. People can do whatever they want in their own home. It's fine. He wants to have orgy parties with men, women, and goats. Who cares? Why is that our business, right?
I don't think you're allowed to fuck a goat, though, Jason.
I know, but we gotta make.
You get the point. If you're in the comfort of your own home, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Is what he's saying.
They want,
but here's what Homeland Security is saying. No, you cannot.
They need to. This sounds like it's unethical and immoral. I haven't heard anything illegal. They're talking about, he's taking out HELOC loans, 6 HELOC loans on his 3 properties.
So
exactly,
that's not illegal. That's not illegal.
It's illegal. He owes $100 million on his 3 properties.
Hold on. But he has. But listen. The accusations that he's being investigated on have a criminal component to it, right? And that's why I was mentioning the small minor nuances of that, right? What I mean by that is, yes, he could have flown someone over state borderlines and paid them to have sex, right? And that is considered such sex trafficking. Listen, what this dude Lil Rod is saying, they said that Lil Rod said that Diddy was grooming him and then tried to pass him off to Cuba Gooding Jr.
These guys,
I don't know.
I'll be honest. A lot of these guys, I don't really believe. Remember, Will Smith's assistant went on the Tasha K and said he walked in
and she
on
went
Will
in.
With Dwayne Martin. Like these guys, I don't know who to believe.
But we still don't know if that's true or not.
Exactly.
You don't know if
Little Rod already got caught in a lie. when he said that Diddy showed him a video of Stevie J with another man, and the actual person who was in the video said, that wasn't Stevie J, that was me. You know?
Yeah, Stevie J was on South Beach with Diddy.
It was a gay porn star came out and said that wasn't Stevie J, that was him. So Lil Rod's already got caught in a lie, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah.
So you I catch you on one lie, and everything you say after that, I don't know what's true or what's not.
But they do got somebody did pull out that Meek Mill audio. Did you hear the Meek Mill audio?
Listen. Hold on, time out. Listen, I think you can make up any. I heard it, bro. I'm at the job. I'm like, yo, what y'all? Did y'all hear the audio? I'm like, what audio y'all talking about? Hey. So they pull out the audio.
The audio is wild. The audio is wild.
Like what? Like what? So hold on. So listen. So here y'all. Like what?
Yeah.
So like, hold on. Time out. So my point is, I think AI can groom up some stuff. Yeah, I think AI can do a lot, and I think somebody just went in with the AI and formulated this whole thing, and it came out, and somebody leaked it. I think that's what happened. That's just me.
Listen, so you telling me? So listen, let me ask you a question. I have yet to hear Meek Mill come out and say, "Dude, are you kidding me? That is not me."
He did.
No, he did not.
When did he?
What he said was, "Y'all stop playing with me. Y'all know I love women." That's what he said.
Oh, okay. Well,
he never said.
He said
he didn't have a press conference. What do you want from? To have a press conference?
What he didn't say was he didn't get his cheek smacked though.
You say what?
He never said he didn't get his cheek smacked in though.
He said, So he said, "I love women. I ain't get my cheek." So you wanted him to say, "I love women." That wasn't me getting my cheeks.
And that's not illegal. That's
what you want him to say.
I haven't heard anything illegal.
I want him to say, "I would." Here's what I'm saying: if it is not true, what he didn't do was denounce the actual act. All he did was endorse what he preferred.
Oh, just like Cat Williams. Cat Williams went on. Hold on.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything illegal. I haven't heard anything illegal.
Exactly.
I'm still waiting for you to tell me something that's illegal.
No, well, you know, the illegal stuff is about him sexually assaulting. You know, they're trying to say that him and Christian, was it Christian Combs?
But there's no proof. These are just allegations.
Well, that's why what they're saying is, listen, everybody, no one's been arrested, no one's been charged, but what they're saying is that they're doing the investigation. What I want people to understand is what they're not going to do is spend this much money, right? If they didn't already have something. That part I believe to be true, right? They're not spending this much money. They're not spending this much money on a fishing trip, right?
But they got to get them on the cocaine
because they know they already know they have something. I guarantee that.
Which is the cocaine. But he's not going to prison for cocaine.
No, they got. Listen, I guarantee you, they got him on the RICO. They got him on the RICO, bro. They're doing the same thing to him that they did to R. Kelly. They're doing the same thing to him that they're trying to do to Young Thug. That's why I want people to understand that this shit where they can use your lyrics and all this other shit against you in a fucking court of law is some bullshit. And it's gonna put all of our cultural icons in a very precarious position. Because one thing that Diddy can't control is the people around him that took pictures and videos and all this other stuff. That's why you keep hearing all of this stuff coming out, right? And I want people to remember too, we're all of those people that have been toasting at Diddy's white parties and doing all of this. Nobody's standing up defending Diddy right now.
Well, Fat Joe
did. A single person come to this man's aid and defense.
Fat Joe did. Yeah, Fat Joe.
It's one more other person. And then the thing is, and I've always heard stories about Diddy, about how he's doing things, whatever the case may be. And I don't know what anybody's seen an old clip of Mike Tyson with Diddy sitting down together. And
he had to move his hand.
And Diddy had his hand right next to Mike Tyson's thigh. Mike Tyson moved that thigh real gently and moved away. Say, I said some other shit. So Mike Tyson had some type of and we know Mike Tyson ain't no punk for a long shot. But the whole thing is kind of like we've been kind of hearing the stuff about Diddy. So why is this a surprise now? We've been hearing stuff about R. Kelly. Exactly. Why is this a surprise now? The whole thing is
R. Kelly did was illegal.
Correct. And then the powers that be.
What you say? He had sex with underage girls. That's illegal.
Of course, we already do
that. Listen, they got him on sex trafficking
with underage girls.
here's what I'm saying. But the charge was sex trafficking, right? Which is the same charge they got on Diddy. That's what I'm saying. Like literally, I'm not saying that R. Kelly should listen. R. Kelly needs therapy. He needs mental health. But at the end of the day, I'm saying the sex trafficking element, right? What Diddy has done what they're accusing Diddy of doing rises to the level of sex trafficking, and they're gonna hit him with the RICO. And the benefit of hitting him with the RICO is that all of that statute of limitations shit goes out the window. Mm-hmm. So if I hit him with the RICO, I can now hit this motherfucker with shit that people are testifying to from 1995, 96, 97. Like most people don't understand. Like if it's just a charge where it's just a charge on Diddy, that's one thing. But if they say that he has an organized crime unit, he's got people that are working for him, they hit him with the RICO, and now all of a sudden they hitting him across the board without the statute of limitations even being an issue.
Well, let's do this. Let me know what you stand on, and give me your predictions on how this is going to play out.
Hold on, I agree with this. You know what I mean? But the whole thing about this, Ms. Mo, is if that's the case, of course they're not going to come out and be like, hey, listen, we found nothing. They're not going to, because they making a whole ordeal about it now.
Yeah.
But if they're not going to come back and say, hey, listen, we apologize, we did all that for nothing, they're not going to come out and do that. That's not the MO. His actual credibility is shot. It's been shot, to be honest. But now that you're getting the people involved, which is the government, the feds and all those things, then yeah, his credibility is shot at this point.
So what do you stand on, Mr. Daily Insight?
So when it comes to this, he innocent until proven guilty. Simple as put. I know the allegations and everything is bogus, but he's innocent until proven guilty. I don't have much more, to be honest. So my thing is, it's another black man at this point, in a situation to where like he's looked on, he's an icon in everyone's eyes. It's another black man taking the pits and downfall. Now, if he's wrong for doing all those things, or guilty for doing all those things, or accused of all those things, those are a few different things. But if he's actually found guilty, shame on him. You know what I mean? He has his status, he has his fame. Why do you have to kind of, go down that even road? You got kids, you got a family, you got an actual business to run. Like what's the whole point? You know what I mean? You got everything. You know what I mean? You got everything, but you kind of just gonna throw it to shits. So, but that's all I stand on. Go ahead.
Yeah. I stand on this, and a great point of Neil about, I'm assuming it was a small amount, but you're right. He could have had keys of cocaine on those planes that he just loves to do it, loves snorting, I guess. But I'll say this, that I feel like at the end of the day, I need to see more. Right. I need to see more than the fact. I mean, so he likes partaking in drugs, cocaine, pills, weed, all that stuff. Right. Cassie already told us that, Cassie already, so we knew this. And so would the FBI. Right. Cassie also told us he was a freak. We knew this. We knew Diddy was a freak, So I need to see more. I need to see other things outside of what they've shown me so far. As of right now, it comes across like a witch hunt. You're over there messing with his son. Sexual assault allegations against, Christian Combs for a yacht party. Like, this sounds like a lot of stuff that they're just reaching at this point. And I stand on this. I want to see how this plays out. And my prediction is I don't think he spends one day in prison at all.
Boom.
That is a hot take right there. Hot off the
all
press.
Day long.
Here's what I say, right? And this is, listen, first of all, do your research, right? Make sure you cite your sources. Be very careful about what you believe and what you don't believe, what you promote, what you don't promote. Listen, I've heard these stories about what happened with Usher when Usher lived there as a young kid, Justin Bieber, right? And, and listen, everybody's seen the videos of him, Fabulous, why you ain't partying with me, daddy? Listen. Listen. Hey, daddy, I like it when you do it like that, daddy, right? And listen, now you got Aubrey O'Day. She's coming out. One thing that we've learned over the course of time, right? When they're attacking the culture, when they're attacking our cultural icons, and I don't defend anybody that's wrong, but one thing that they always do is when one person says something, 8 million more people then feel comfortable enough to say it happened to me too, even when it didn't, right? So listen, I definitely want all facts to come out, right? But when you make as much money as someone like Diddy, when the perceived power and value of that personality becomes to a certain extent, right? People are going to come at you. They're going to attack you, right? All I'm going to say is this. I don't think that Diddy's getting away from this one, right? I think that they're going to get him, and they've gotten people for less, right? Now, I will say this, right? For those of you that find yourself ascending in life, right? Power is a motherfucker, man. You got to be careful. Don't lose your values, your character, and your ideals just because you see yourself gaining materialistic value and monetary value, right?
So let me interject. So you think that's where Diddy got to?
Oh, listen, I definitely think that Diddy thought at some point in time that he was above reproach. I definitely think that dude, listen, he has started to share too much of his life. When you start to become that open and that honest about the shit you're doing, you feel like you are untouchable, right? But the reality is, and this is just being truthful, one of the things that I think that one of the lessons in this was somebody looked down and said, oh, so you think you that motherfucker, huh? And let me remind you that I will bring your ass down and humble the fuck out of you when you think that you are motherfucking bigger than me, right?
Yeah.
Society said, motherfucker, you ain't bigger than me, right? And I think and that's why what I believe a lot of people will say is this. Most motherfuckers who make that kind of money, they definitely are doing some wild and crooked shit. They're probably breaking some law somewhere, for sure. Right? But what you ain't never heard about was Bill Gates' freak party, right? You ain't heard about Elon Musk's freak party, right? Diddy out here putting his shit on goddamn social media, right? I got everybody here. Motherfuckers taking pictures and shit. And that's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, man, be more stealth. Move with strategy, move with consciousness. But at the end of the day, like I said, don't lose sight of your values, and then you don't have to find yourself in these fucking positions, man. Dude going down. And here's the sad part. If he allowed his child, Christian Combs, to sexually assault somebody at a yacht party, that tells you even more how much power this motherfucker believed he had, right? Because now you're bringing your kids into this world of bullshit and fuckery, right? And listen, I used to be jealous of that world. I used to want to be in that world when I was a kid, right? When I'm growing up, right? I'm growing up in the 80s and in the 90s, and you see hip hop artists, and dude, I used to want to be in that shit, man. And now you look back at it, and I'm like Mace. I'm like, damn, I escaped that motherfucker right there, dude.
Very true.
You know, so here's what if I stand on anything, it's this. I don't know if Diddy did it or Diddy didn't do it, but I do think Diddy might be done. And diddly, right? I think it's over for your boy. I think it's a matter of time before they get him. They're not going to spend this much money and not walk away with something. So he will. I do believe he will get arrested. I do believe he will go to trial. I don't know if he's going to get found guilty, but I believe that no matter what, he's going to go down and get charged with something because they've already spent too much money to not do anything.
Got you. Well, hey, we'll see. It'll be a plot. It'll be a plot that we have to follow. Definitely. Hey,
now
there
also,
it is.
Make sure you guys follow us on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Bring a friend next time. Share
with your friends.
And make sure you guys
hit the like button too. A lot of you guys are viewing and forgetting to hit the like button. So make sure you hit that like button in YouTube
and subscribe, people. Bring a friend. Share a friend. Let's go.
Shout out to my man Carenzo English. He's in the Keys right now with his family. Happy birthday, man. Hope you're having a good time out there, man. Happy birthday. So,
and listen, if you don't like it, hit the like button anyway. It ain't gonna affect you. It ain't gonna fuck up your day. Hit the like button anyway.
And share it with a friend, man. Let's get these subscribers up. I think we're at 265 now. So share it on YouTube, Facebook, everything, guys. We appreciate it.
And thank you everyone who commented in the comment section. Next time, like I said, if you guys want to join, Just like Miss Elder did, make sure your camera is on and your internet strength is strong, and you can join with us each and every other week that we have these actual discussions.
And shout out to everybody in Santo Domingo who joined us today from Santo Domingo, man. Shout out to everybody. It's all love.
Listen, here's what it is. It's all love to everybody everywhere. Whether you like us, love us, or hate us, thank you for being with us.
Yes,
if you didn't join us and you're watching this later, we love you too.
Yes.
If you didn't mean to click on this button and you just happen to watch this shit anyway, I love you too.
Yes.
Listen, we love every motherfucking body. Episode 94 is out.
You guys in 2 weeks.